Right. Good afternoon, good people. Welcome to grade 8 mathematics class. And today we are going to carry on with our lesson just to revise some of the work that we have done up to now, as we were informed by the seniors, our HOD. Right, we will start with, the lesson on fractions. And of course, we will end it with some of the expressions. And then, of course, if you have any question, please feel free at any time to ask or to comment on the group chat. And of course, we will probably have a very exciting lesson once again today. So the group chat is quite active. Thank you very much, Lesedi and Ntlantla. Welcome back. We are now going to just carry on with common fractions, like I said, and then we will look at the equivalent fractions. We have defined a fraction as the portion of a whole. That a whole is the portion of the whole is known as the fraction. And this is the definition, by the way, which you have probably been exposed to even in previous grades. Kaylee Kudzia, thank you very much indeed, and welcome. We have equivalent fractions, and we define the equivalent fractions by talking about those fractions which have the same value. They may not look the same, but they will definitely have a same value. We have an example here of the equivalent fraction, 90 out of 100. And then you can see that this is equal to 9/10. We know this because if you take 9/10 or 9 out of 10 and you multiply that by 10 out of 10, you will definitely get 90 out of 100. This is what you will have. Similarly, if you were to divide 90 by 10 and divide 100 by 10, you will go back to 9/10. So these are what we call the equivalent fractions. When the numerator is smaller than the denominator, the fraction is proper. We say that this is a proper fraction. And then when the denominator is bigger, in fact, when the numerator is smaller than the denominator, we call it a proper fraction. But when the numerator is bigger than the denominator, then we say this is an improper fraction. And of course, we are going to deal with examples as we carry on, the first being the proper fractions. We have the examples that are given. The first one there is 5/7, and then 2/9, 32/35, 78/120, and 12/1000. So you can see in this case that the numerator is smaller than the denominator. So hence we call this the proper fraction. Now, the improper fractions, as you know, the numerator will always be bigger than the denominator. And the example here is 8/3. So you can see that 8 is bigger than 3. And 8 is the numerator, 3 is the denominator. Therefore, we call this fraction an improper fraction because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. And of course, we have several examples that we can list. 12/7 is one of the examples. And then we also have 32 out of 5, and then 327 over 12, and 1,000 over 2 or over 3 perhaps, and then we also have 1,000 over 13. You can tell that this is what we call the improper fraction, because the denominator is less than the numerator. And of course, we also have what we call mixed numbers. How do we get the mixed number? We get the mixed number from the improper fraction. Now, if you simplify the improper fraction, you can write that as a mixed number. Example, we have 12 over 7, and then if you want to simplify this, you will have 7 into 12 goes only once, and then the remainder is 5 over 7. The other example is 32 over 5. And then 5 into 32 goes 6 times, and then the remainder there is 2 over 5. So you'll have 6, which is the whole number, and a fraction 2 over 5. That is what we call a mixed number, which is generated from an improper fraction. So every time when you simplify an improper fraction, you are bound to get a mixed number, unless you are using decimal fractions, because we also have decimal fractions. So in this case, this is what we have by the mixed number. Now, I'm just going to give you an opportunity to reflect on the following fractions. Some of them may be proper fractions, others may be improper fractions. What I want you to do is to simplify this improper fraction. Just put the simplified version of this improper fraction. The next one, the first one is 3 over 24. And this is a proper fraction, by the way, because the numerator is smaller than the denominator. So I want you to simplify it. When you simplify it, all right, Cesar has already simplified the expression, and Cesar says we will have 1 over 8. Cesar, let me take this opportunity to say you are correct. That is the correct answer. Okay, Lesedi also on the chat group, or on the group chat rather, says it will be 1 over 8. And then I see Tyrese saying there you agree with both Cesar and Lesedi. And I also concur, because if you divide 3 by 3, you get 1. And if you divide 24 by 3, you get 8. So 1 over 8 is the correct answer. 1 over 8 is the correct answer there. Let's proceed now to the next one, 12 over 60. We are proceeding to the next one, which is 12 over 60. And then, of course, we can be able to simplify that. Let's simplify. Right, I see Tyrese already found the answer together with Lesedi. You have the same answer there, 1 over 5. You say that 1 over 5 is the correct answer. I fully agree with you. And you simplify it by dividing 12 by 12, and then you divide 60 by 12 as well. Remember, whatever you do to the top number must be done also in the bottom number. So if you divide 12 by 12, then you need to also divide 60 by 12. So 12 divided by 12 is 1, and 60 divided by 12 is 5. I fully agree. You don't have to start with the biggest numbers if you simplify. You can even start with a small number like 2. You can divide 12 by 2 and then divide 60 by 2 to get 6 out of 30. And then again, you come and divide by 2 to get 3 out of 15. And then lastly, you can divide by 3 to get 1 over 5. So this is what we mean when we talk about simplifying the expression. So 1 over 5, as Tyrese and Lesedi have said, is the correct answer, right? We have another one, which is now an improper fraction. And you may write this as a mixed number. So we have 32 over 5. Remember, you can simplify any improper fraction and write it as a mixed number. So I see Lesedi says is the 2 there, and then 2 over 5. Kylie Kutie says 2 over 5. Right, I can see the fraction, but what happened to the whole number? There's a whole number as well. Remember, this is an improper fraction. So there should be a whole number there. And what is the whole number? I see you've got the correct values for the fraction. Kylie, Kuze, and Lesedi, 2 over 5. Okay, Lesedi says it will be 6. That is the whole number. And then 2 over 5. Definitely. Lesedi is supported by Teza, who in turn is supported by Ntlantla. Ntlantla as well just put in the whole number 6 and then 2 over 5. Thank you very much indeed. I hope that we are not that fast. You can see that 32 over 5 is the same as 6 and then 2 over 5. We are now proceeding to D. In D, we have 29 over 20. And then we need to simplify that. Already, Ntlantla has simplified to find 1 and then 9 over 20, followed by Lesedi. Yes, I fully agree with both Lesedi and Kylie as well. So it's now 3 people. It's Ntlantla, Lesedi, and Kylie. Kylie Kutsia. You have 1, which is the whole number, and then 9 over 20. And of course, in my case, it's the same 1 and then 9 over 20. Just put in the 1 there, it should be 9. So it should be 1, whole number 1, and then 9 over 20. And then in E, we also have the 9 over 6, which is quite a very simple improper fraction in a sense that it has got 1 digit each. So you have 9 at the top and then 6 at the bottom. Right, can we simplify that? I see that Lesedi was the first to raise a hand there. In the group chat, Lesedi says 1 and then 1 over 2. Tyrese has got 3 over 2, which is also correct, by the way, because the common factor is 3. So I see Tyrese said 3 into 9 goes 3 times, and 3 into 6 goes twice. So you'll have 3 over 2. Someone said 1.5. Yes, that's correct. That's Lesedi. And then who else? Let's see. Kylie as well found 1 over 2. Kylie, I can see the fraction that you have, but what happened to the whole number? Because there should be a whole number there. I'm sure Kylie will reflect and come back to the answer. Because right now Kylie has given me the only the fraction. Ntlanhla says 1 and then 1 over 3. Okay, Ntlanhla also has a half there. I wonder what happened to the whole number. All right, Kylie, I see you are reflecting on that. Just to zoom into the answer, of course, that will be 1 and then 3 over 6. Remember, this 3 over 6 can be expressed as half because 3 into 3 goes once, and then into 6, it goes twice. So the final answer will be 1.5. That is what we have as the final answer there. The final answer will be half, 1.5. We also have F, which is 45 over 8. We also have 45 over 8, which is now an improper fraction. We have 45 over 8, which is improper. Kylie, I see that you are back. Ntlanhla says the 1 over 3 was a mistake. Okay, Ntlanhla. Now Lesedi is doing the F. She says, or Lesedi says rather, if you take 8 into 45, it will go there 5 times, meaning that it gets into 40. And the remainder will be 5, and then you bring down the denominator, which is 8. So I concur. 45 over 8, then this means you have 5 and then 5 over 8. That will be your final answer there. 45 and then over 8, which is equal to 5 and then 5 over 8. Right, and then I see Lesedi and Ntlanhla are the ones who got this right. Thumbs up to you. And of course, you can see you have the same answer. You got the same answer that I got as well. So that will be 5 and then 5 over 8. Now G is the last one of this simplifying this common fractions. We have now 240 over 50. Can we simplify this? Right, Ntlanhla? Right, I see that Ntlanhla has got 4 and then 4 over 50. Great. Natalie as well, 4, whole number 4 and then 40 over 50. Right, I agree. And then Tyrese has got 24 over 5. Yes, Tyrese, you can cancel out the zeros there and be left with 24 out of 5. And then I see Lesedi said, sorry, it should be 4 and then 4 over 50. Lesedi, I think it's either you say 4 and then 4 over 5 or 4 over 40 over 50. Yeah, Cesar, correctly so, send a private message, though it is now 4 and then 4 over 5. I agree. I fully agree. That's the correct answer, Cesar. Then it's the same answer that I got. In my case, I have 4 and then 40 over 50. You can simplify the 40 over 50 just to cancel out the zeros there. And then, of course, you will definitely have 4 and then 4 over 5. 4, which is a whole number, and then 4 over 5. So Ntlantla, yes, that is the correct answer, Lesedi. Great. Thank you, Cesar. So now, now that we have done these particular problems, we also have a duty to find a way of just moving to the next one, which is a problem, word problem. And then you can see that Lindiwe has a bag with 14 marbles. Of these, four are blue, and then 7 red, and then 3 yellow. So what fraction of her marbles are red? So we are now looking at the fraction. I see Natalie already said half. She says half are red. That is the fraction. Okay, I see that half, Tantla. We are revising that. Yes, we are revising that section there. Half are red. Yes, thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Lisedi. Thank you, Tantla. Half will be red. So, but how do you get the half? Because this means you have 7 over 14. As Cesar said, I see Therese, you also agree. So there are 7 red, and then total is 14. So therefore, the fraction is 7 over 14. And then, of course, you can just take it from there. Right? We have now finished almost half of our lesson. We are just going to carry on with the next one. I want you to carefully look at this problem. When Sihle walks to school and back to the grandmother's house, you've got 2 and then 3 over 4 kilometers and then and a half kilometer. I want you to add the 2. Yesterday, we managed to add the fractions, addition and subtraction of fractions. Can we now put that into good use? Just to add the 2 fractions. I want to correctly see how did you find the correct answer here. So it's 2 and then 3 over 4. And then plus half. So it's 2 and then 3/4 of a kilometer and then half a kilometer there. Can we now solve this and find the total journey in kilometers? Natalie says it will be 3 and then 1 over 4. Lesedi says kilometers. Lesedi did not put any number there. She just wrote kilometers. Tantla says 3 and then 1 over 4. Yes, 3 and a quarter. Lesedi says 3 and a quarter as well. Natalie as well, 3 and a quarter. So I agree with you. Tantla, I fully agree. Right, we are not going to waste any time, but just to calculate properly these 4 expressions where you just have to add the fractions. Can we now find, right, Lesedi, thanks, Lesedi. I'm noting, I thought that, I know Lesedi, there are girls as well called Lesedi and boys. So thank you for letting me know that Lesedi is a boy. Right, Lesedi, we are doing the first one. I see Cesar has already found the first one. 14 over 15, yes. Remember the LCD. The LCD is very important when you add or subtract fractions. Remember the LCD, which stands for the lowest common denominator. The lowest common denominator, and in this case it is 15. And then if you multiply 1 over 3 by 5 over 5, you will be able to get 5 over 15, and then the other one will be 9 over 15. So 5 plus 9 gives you 14. All right. 5 plus 9 gives you 14. Lesedi got it right, and Tlantla got it right. Who else? Kylie, you are also right. Thank you, Tlantla. Right. And then the second one, you can see it looks a bit complicated in a sense that it has mixed numbers. Can we simplify those mixed numbers? Meaning that can we write it as a mixed, not as a mixed number, but as an improper fraction? I'm sure as an improper fraction, it can work better. Right, I see Lesedi is back. The lowest common, Tlantla, we are not talking about the lowest common, well, the LCD, yes, the lowest common denominator. Right, the lowest common multiple, that's what Lesedi says. Yes, of course. LCM is fine, lowest common multiple, that's fine. 13 over 7 and then 13 over 40. And then 7, 13 over 40 again. The common factor, or the lowest common denominator will be 40. And then, of course, we proceed to find or add the numerators. So if you add the numerators together, they will give you 13. All right, 13 over 40. And then, of course, let's look at the next one. 7, 13 over 40. The next one, 2, I see you've got 3 and 1 over 12. Right, because this was 70, all right, 3 and then 1 over 12. Okay, and then 3, 1 over 12. Right, that's the third one there. That's the third one, 2 over 3, 2 and then 1 over 3. Remember, you just have to simplify the mixed number and write it as the improper fraction. So the first one will be you multiply 3 by 2 to get 6, and then 6 plus 1 is 7. So you'll have 7 over 3 plus 3 over 4. And thereafter, you get the LCD there, which is 12. Then you can be able to tell that 3 into 12 goes 4 times, 4 times 7. 7 times 4 is 28. And then 4 into 12, 3 times, and then 3 times 9 is 27. And then when you add them together, you divide by 12. You get 3, because it is 36, and then remainder 1. So 37 over 12 is the same as 3 and then 1 over 12. Yes, I concur. Lesedi got it right. Not only Lesedi, but also Tyrese. Tyrese, you have the correct answer so far, and then Tlantla as well. Yes, and Tlantla as well. You found the correct answer there. Although you wrote the final answer first, that's okay. But I can see that you've worked it out. It's going to be necessary that you work it out just to see step by step when we mark your work. I hope that it makes sense. The last one is 4 there. Can we just zoom directly into 4? The last one. The fourth one. Right. 3 over 2 plus 1 over 4 and then minus 1 over 3. Right. Yes, I see Therese says he got 17 over 12 for number 4. Okay, Therese. And then 12 into 17 goes once, and then remainder is 5 over 12. 1 and then 5 over 12. Therese, that is the correct answer. Lesedi as well, that's the correct answer there. And then Tlanta also got the correct answer. Natalie, please just double check the answer there, because if it's 17 over 12, then you'll know that 12 into 17 goes only once, and the remainder will be 5. And that will be 5 out of 12. All right. That will be 5 over 12. Thank you, Natalie. Right, we are now going to zoom into the flow diagram. Just to revise the relationship between the inputs, the rule, and the output. You can see in the first flow diagram, we have got some inputs on the left-hand side and the outputs on the right-hand side. So the middle numbers there are known as the rule. The times 2 plus 8, that is the rule. So the first input at the top there, top left, is 2. How do you get the first output, which is 12 on the right-hand side? You multiply the 2, which is the input, you multiply that by 2. And then you plus 8. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 8 is 12. I hope that it makes sense. 2 times 2 is 4, and then 4 plus 2 is 12. So that's how you get the output. Now, can we get the output using the next input values? 4 is the next one. So it means you are going to multiply 4 by 2 to get 8, and then 8 plus 8 is 16. So I see Natalie, yes, you got that right. And then Ntlantla got it right. Therese also, Lizanne, Lisedi, all of them 16. You got 16. Great. And then the third one is 8. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 16 is 24. So Natalie got 24. Lisedi also got 24. And Asanda also got 24. Ntanta 24 as well. Thank you very much. And then you multiply by 10. 10 times 2 is 20. 20 plus 8 is 28. Let's see who got it right. The first one, there's Cesar, Lisedi, Asanda, as well as Kylie and Lizanne. Lizanne, you got it correct. Can we do the last one, where you multiply by 12? 12 times 2 is 24, and 24 plus 8 is 32. So Lisedi got 32. Lizanne also, is it? Let me check. Yes, Lizanne got 32 as well. Lizanne McEwan, and then Ntantla also got 32. Thank you very much indeed. Ntantla, Lizanne, Ntantla, as well as Lisedi. So Ntantla just answered twice. So you have done the last one there. Can we move to the next flow diagram now? Let's move to the next flow diagram. Where 2 is the input value. So you multiply 2 by 8, which is 16. And then 16 plus 2 gives you 18 in the first one. So 18 is the correct answer. I see Lizanne got it right. Ntantla also got it right. Natalie got it right as well. So far, it's 3 people who got it right. Okay, Lisedi, I didn't see you. Lisedi, Asanda, Lizanne, Ntantla, and Natalie, about 5 of you. Right. 18 is the correct answer. And then let's use 4. Let's use 4. 4 times 8 is 32. Plus 2 is 34. Right. Lizanne got 34. Cesar also for 34. Kylie also got 34. Cesar, I see that you wrote your answer to me. Oh, the first one was to me privately. The other one is to the group. 34. Yes, that's the correct answer. And then can we use 8 now? 8 times 8. Let's use 8 times 8, which is 64. Then 64 plus 2 is 66. Yes. Lizan, Asanda, Lesedi, Kylie, Ntlantla got it right. I see Kylie, you wrote to everyone and then you came back, you put it twice. So 66 is the correct answer. Can we move to 10 now? 10, well, you need to multiply 10. Teza, Lizan, Lesedi, Ntlantla, all have the same answer, which is 82. So 10 times 8 is 80. And then 80 plus 2 is 82. Kylie as well has just put in the correct answer. Thank you very much indeed, Kylie. Can we now use the last one, which is 12, just to find the output? So I see many of you, Lizan, Natali, Lisedin, Tlantla, Asanda, Kylie, Tlantla, 98 is what you got. And that is correct. I fully concur. 98 is the correct answer, which is found by just multiplying the 12 by 8. All right. So we are now proceeding to the next item now. Now, in this case, I just want you to write the shortest possible expression without the brackets, meaning that simplify these expressions. Simplify the expressions. Simplify the expressions. Let us simplify the expressions. So I can see Kylie and Tyrese, you have simplified the first one. And of course, you have 3x plus 6. Tyrese, I fully agree with you there. 3x plus 6 is the correct answer. Because what you do, you simply break the bracket by 2, and then 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is 6. Thereafter, you just add x and 2x, which is 3x, and then plus 6. Right, I agree with you, Tyrese. I see Kylie also said 2x times 3x. And then Tlantla said 2x times 3x. All right, I see that you forgot to add the x. Yes, Kylie, I see your point now. So can we now write down the second one, which is 1.2, and then let us write the shortest possible expression. The shortest possible expression, in this case, let us write it. Right, very simple. I see that you are still trying to find that. Lesedi got 25x plus 15. Yes, Lesedi, you are correct, followed by Cesar. Cesar also got 25x plus 15. Lisan also, and then Tyrese. Thank you so much. You just simply break your brackets, and then you should be able to find the correct answer there. We are left with about 6 minutes, and I want us to do the next one. You can see that the next one as well, we have 5 open bracket x plus 5, then plus 3, open bracket 2x plus 1, and then you close the bracket. And of course, the final answer there will be 11x plus 28. So you can use that at a later stage when we substitute. I hope that you are writing down the final answers here, because we are going to need them in the next few minutes. And then the next one, of course, is 5 plus x all squared. This is you multiply 5 plus x by itself. And then, of course, this will be a trinomial, which is 25 plus 10x plus x squared. I hope that it makes sense. And then the last one looks like a very complicated expression, but the reality is that you just have to break the bracket. So in the first instance, you will use 3 or -3 rather to break your bracket. And of course, once you have multiplied every term by -3, you'll be left with -3x squared minus 6x plus 9. That's the first bracket. And then the second one, 3 times x squared plus 4x. It will be now plus 3x squared plus 12. Right now, I want you to just substitute. The reason why I revise this is that we want you to now substitute the value of x, which is -5. Remember, we will be writing an assessment next week. And then, of course, we will need some of these challenges here just to reflect. So we have done some of these problems, hence the revision. So we're revising this, of course. So if you put in -5 in the first 1.1 there, what do you get? What is the answer there? Can we substitute? Let's substitute. And of course, you'll see that if x is -1, then the value of the expression will be -9. All right. And then the second one, once again, you simply find this particular activity, you just substitute -5, and then you can also substitute it there in 1.3. And then, of course, you can do the same in 1.4. You just substitute, and then you see in 1.4, 5 minus 5 will be 0. And then 0 squared is the same as 0. The last one, remember, the final answer was 6x plus 9. So I just took it. I just took the final answer. Remember when we were adding, you'll recall that when we added the expression here, 1.5, when we simplified it, it was 6 plus 9. So yes, we have 6 plus 9, and then of course, that is the expression. So if you put in -5 in this expression, -5 times 6 will give you, excuse me, -5 plus 6 will definitely give you a -30, and then -30 plus 9 is -21. All right, great. So we are now proceeding to give you some work which you can do at home just to reflect on the different expressions. And of course, we will have enough time to prepare ourselves for next week. Now, if you have any further questions, please feel free to send them at STEM digital school at africathinkgeeks.co.za. Once more, this lesson was brought to you by the STEM Digital School in partnership with the Sasol Foundation. Until we meet again tomorrow, thank you very much indeed.